Another edition of What the Fuck Happenings in the YouTube Atheist Community. Things will be a little different in this edition, as there really isn't much happening. Fake Sagan hasn't made a video in like 3 weeks, so I don't know. I guess his comeback is gone. It's gone back. It's gone back to come back. So anyway, amazing atheist. I mean, he does an hour video, part of his answering his personal questions kind of thing. Yeah, a couple of the questions might be a little bit interesting, a little bit. But yeah, I mean, an hour video about himself and about his opinions. And yeah, okay, it might just sound like sour grapes or whatever, but I mean, it really pisses me off. This guy's got whatever, 14,000 subscribers, haven't checked the number. And he just talks trash and nonsense and bullshit. And so he was making this stupid argument about video games, and so yes, somehow he's proven, you know, because they found some sort of CAT scans or whatever on people after playing violent video games or whatever, and found what was, it's you know, something to do with pretending, imagining playing music is the same thing as playing music, because it affects your brain the same way. Yeah, so the fact that we use our imagination is the same as perception. A perception is a perception, whether it's real or your imagination, still perception, still probably going to affect the brain in substantially similar ways. Well, anyway, his point is that he's demonstrated that you know, Grand Theft Auto 4 whatever is an evil, awful game, and that people are wasting their life. And you know, especially gamers who spend more than 6 hours or whatever his standard is playing a game, and they all should go out and get a life. And get a life doing what? What the amazing atheist does, which apparently isn't much. I mean, he's got such great social skills. He admits in the video he hasn't got laid in 5 years. So reality isn't doing him much good. So what's he preaching at other people who find an escape that's more interesting than reality, you know, than chomping down a Big Mac? Yeah, it's just kind of a joke. It's a future for the human race is virtual reality. So the fact that people are already getting sucked in, it's just evidence of that fact. Reality bites, asshole, if you haven't figured that out yet. And yeah, well, look, people shouldn't spend too much time on video games, but it is fantasy life. And this comes from a guy. This guy is a guy who, you know, apparently has read some comic books, loves horror films, right? Goes to special screenings of vintage horror films. Like, that doesn't affect your personality, your mentality. That doesn't desensitize you. You know, we're talking in video games, it's, you know, almost cartoonish violence. Horror movies are sometimes very realistic violence. So fuck that stupid nonsense. I mean, fuck even having a conversation like that, because once you open that door, it's the same door the Christians want to open. Oh yeah, well, we have to stop something because it's bad for people. And this is the same guy who preaches about how, you know, government's gotta, you know, democracy sucks because majority rule. He doesn't realize that part of a democracy is having a constitution that puts some things off limits, you know. So he blames democracy because it doesn't protect us from Christian arrogance, and his choice wouldn't protect us either, okay? His white-only bullshit. You know, he thinks he's such a libertarian, he thinks people need to put signs in front of the business, or need to have the right to put signs in front of the business saying white-only. Well, you know, if we gave complete liberty to the arrogant Christians in this country, you know, they can not hire you, they can not rent to you. If you're an atheist, they cannot let you live in their town. So it's called segregation, asshole. And if you think segregation is good for this country, then you're an idiot. You're a moron. Because as soon as we create borders, those borders are just something to be people to get offended over and to start wars over, whether they be economic wars or whether they be real physical wars. It's just no good segregating human beings. We've got to force people to live with each other, not give them an excuse to live apart from each other. So his whole philosophy is such bullshit, and he supports a flat tax or the fair tax. I don't know what version he supports, but you know, it's basically a 20% sale tax, he says. And he doesn't talk anything about inheritance, doesn't talk anything about the consolidation of wealth, and what those would do under such a system. I mean, obviously, if there's no income tax, people could amass huge fortunes, and they could basically just divvy them out to people who could just live off that money for the rest of their lives. No one would have to do a damn bit of work ever. So there'd be a privileged class who never works, and a class that has to do all the work and end up paying all the taxes, because they have to. They're going to spend more of their income. They're going to be required to spend more of their income. They can't just shove it in a bank and collect nice interest or play the market and get a free ride tax-wise on all that money. And a flat tax too would also it makes no distinctions between the wealthy and then the super preposterously wealthy. It's just a stupid philosophy. So anyway, that's what's in his hour-long bullshit video. So he just, no one responds to any of his bullshit, so I'll do it. He's just an idiot. It's an idiot who just, it's casual and reckless philosophy. Years ago, I used to listen to Howard Stern, and he's, a funny guy. And The Amazing Atheist isn't even funny. Not like a Howard Stern. But Howard Stern was such an asshole, too. He got George Bush elected the first time, and did his best to do it anyway. And this is an asshole who talks about how he's a big, free speech advocate. And he put those conservative fuckballs on the Supreme Court, essentially. And so the very forces that are causing his oppression, he essentially empowered. And The Amazing Atheist is just as big a fucktard. He would do the same thing. He's just an idiot. It shows so short-sighted. 60-minute video, and it's all fluff and feathers and bullshit. No real substance. So anyway, Tommy from the Bronx. I talked to Tommy on Stickham. It was really great. We talked about his animals and stuff. He's got a ton of animals. Got some tortoises. I like turtles, so that was cool. It was really. This guy been through a lot. He really is a human being. Don't always agree with him, and we'll have our contentions about things, but I like Tommy. Cody did some kind of impersonating some guy singing video thing. I don't know what the fuck that was. Didn't pay much attention to it. Scotty, the Amazing Atheist, dick-headed brother who, probably only has subscribers because he's the Amazing Atheist brother. He did his part 2 to his video, his answering questions. It was just so fucking lame. So bad. Both these guys, they never did any drugs. Amazing Atheist said didn't do anything for marijuana. And you're like, oh, come on. That's almost like a Bill Clinton statement or something. What the hell? Didn't do anything for you? Well, then try again, okay? You obviously didn't do it right. Somebody who says that, oh, come on. It's got to do something for you. Got to. It's not possible, I don't think, for somebody to tell me that marijuana doesn't do anything for them. So, weird. Anyway, and this is the bold guy, the out there Amazing Atheist. Well, fuck that. He even drinks soda like a girl. He takes these little sips. It's weird. Very strange guy. But we're all a little bit weird, right? Anyway, Captain Awesome, did a video talking about how science is good. Well, yeah, we all kind of figured that out. It was one of those things against the creationism stuff. And so it was okay. Nothing brilliant. And he also did some more on the back up on the fuck Tibet, like he's not a big fan of China, but that wasn't the point of his video and whatever, and so fine. Amazing Atheist actually did a response video, and he put it on his other channel, the one he never uses. But it was really bad. The sound was crappy and it wasn't much of a video. So anyway, I'll get to
Venom Fang X and his little friend Zachary guy, they did some video on free will. It's just so funny when these guys are talking about how, so basically the idea is God sends us a life raft and we choose to grab it or not grab it. And you're thinking about all these circumstances where you're saying, well, where's the life raft? Okay, you think about these tribes in Africa for 50,000 years have been living in, this primitive lifestyle. How come none of them ever, how come Jesus never talked to any of them? How come somehow they just didn't find Jesus on their own? How come somebody had to come with a gun and shove the Bible in their faces? Is that the life raft this asshole talks about? So for thousands of years, these people just lived in this, well, I guess they can't say it was that many thousand because, they think the world's 6,000 years old. So so they've just been living out there in the wilderness, so to speak. They've been sent out to because God hates us and we all deserve to die. But somehow they never see the life raft that Jesus has been sending them, and they usually only get to see it after most of their population is killed. The American Indians didn't see Jesus before we got here, and somehow the only way they could find Jesus is after we kill 80% of them. It's just, what a pile of shit. So anyway, then Venom Fang did a video on his own on how that Zeitgeist movie was full of shit, and yeah, I agree, a lot of it was full of shit, but a lot of it was good. But yeah, there's a lot of nonsense thrown in there, so I'll accept his criticism because it really kind of was shit. But anyway, the next video was on this creation. Apparently this website or this video place where these guys called the Creation Guys. You know, it's just so funny. And so they're basically, you know, justifying intelligent design. And so they had Venom Fang X do a little bit of their segment on vestigial parts. And his brilliant observation was that somehow, no, the whales don't have a real pelvis, you see, because the males have a different one than the females. Well, yeah, that's true in our species as well. The point is they don't need a goddamn pelvis. It doesn't do anything, you dumb fuck. And it's like, it makes this point somehow it's necessary to their reproduction or you know, and how they excrement or something. It's just such a pile of shit. You know, and they're never going to explain away those little legs inside the snake. So anyway, just desperate bullshit. And these guys are just such, you know, they're always whoring for themselves. Subscribe to our channel and go to our website and all this bullshit. I mean, they're just such whores. But then, you know, Venom Fang also did a video. Oh, I'm out of time, so I'll have to speed it up. Anyway, he did a video talking about how he's only been a Christian for a year, and he was such a hard-ass atheist. And atheism is so simple, you see. It's so easy a life, because he was out partying and having fun. It's just like, come on. Yeah, he went to quilting bees. Come on. Yeah, get real, asshole. We see through that shit.